Hi guys, welcome back to the podcast, The Only Way We Knew.
Father and daughter.
With yourself, with yours truly, Ria.
And Mem, the father of Ria. Right, second podcast. How do you feel about it?
I feel better.
Okay.
I feel a little bit more like this.
Awake.
Well, I wouldn't say awake.
What we do, we got to sort of talk about the last podcast that we uploaded, so we can clarify that anyone that did watch it, that we know how it looks.
Yes, we know that the quality hasn't been the best that it could be. It hasn't been at the same level as our documentaries. However, I take responsibility for that.
She mucked up.
It was my fault. I hold my hands up.
And the audio.
But we move forward, and now
Episode 2.
Now that you're watching this one, we can guarantee it's going to be nice and clear. So clear that I've actually had a bit of a. Have you noticed? I've had a sty.
A sty?
Yeah. Do you know what a sty is?
No.
You know when you've got a bit of a clogged duct on your eyelid? You see it?
No.
Yeah, so maybe you'll see that, maybe you won't, but anyway. So, today's podcast
Is about?
Well, we're going to be talking about a topic today. I've picked the topic. Dad himself doesn't 100% know what the topic... Well, not the topic. What we're going to be talking about completely. The reason for that is I have a secret that I'll be revealing at some point throughout the video.
Oh no! Don't do it to me!
But I thought that the subject we'd be talking about today would be culture.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you happy to talk on that subject?
Yeah.
Okay. So, culture. I had a little look at what the actual definition of culture is, because if you're anything like myself, at times you can kind of confuse a few things together, like culture, ethnicity, race. These are all things that you could consider like an umbrella term. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. So culture, according to the Oxford Dictionary, it's the ideas, customs, and social behaviour of a particular group of people or society.
You've lost me, but I understood.
Okay. So, obviously, it's a bit self-explanatory, I think, but I think the deeper we delve into the subject, the more we both will adapt a better understanding of that. So, Dad, what is your idea or your opinion of what culture is? What does culture mean to you?
Well, you said the word ethnicity, so I felt like the word culture is to do with like the background of myself, like. But then when I think about the word, because you mentioned it to me just then, I always see the word around, and I always see it like the culture of art, or the culture of motor cars, or the culture of work, or the culture of home. You know, I always see it as, that's where I seem to, if the word's brought up to me, that's where I seem to visualise it or see it.
Yeah.
Cultural foods and cultural, you know, just like, you know what I mean?
There's certain words that would be associated with culture when it's said. Yeah,
I don't actually sit there and go, I know what culture is, because I don't. But I can familiarise or recognise where I've visualised the word, and by me seeing that, it allows me to sort of understand roughly what the word means.
Okay, so let me ask you another question then. How would you describe your culture?
Hard one. The reason I'll say what I'm going to say is because by me just thinking about the word culture now, it's made me think about it in the right way that I should be. And by you saying to me, how do I feel about my culture? My culture, I believe it's like by my surroundings. That's how I feel it is. It's like the one that got me was when it was my work culture.
Yeah.
So while I'm at work, how is it at work? So if you say, how's my culture? It's my home culture. Is that right? So it's how I am at home.
Okay.
So my culture, the way I was brought up, was one culture. And when I met your mum, it became another culture.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So, do you think yours and mum's culture are the same?
Definitely not.
Okay.
We created our own culture together as a unit.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because when I was 19 and I left home, I met your mum with my own culture. And when I met mum, she had her own culture. She had her own way of her own way. And I think that was what was exciting about her. You know, when you're experiencing a different culture, you're learning different things. You know what I mean?
It was interesting.
It was interesting, yeah. Obviously, your mum, she came from a Spanish background, Gibraltarian Spanish background. So they're from Gibraltar, but they've got Spanish roots. And I found it exciting. You know, I found it like,
wow,
it's a new thing. I've never seen that in my... Coming from South London in my era, I'll be honest with you, I think she was possibly one of the first Spanish people I ever met.
Really?
Yeah, and that's the gospel truth.
Okay.
I'd always hear about it on movies, you know, all these Spanish movies and all that, but I think she was the first person I ever met.
So mum coming from Spanish culture, essentially, what would you say you came from? Turkish culture?
A Cypriot Turkish culture.
Okay, so what's the difference between Turkish culture and Turkish Cypriot culture?
I think what you're going to find, Turkish Cypriot people will always identify themselves as Turkish Cypriot people, because you don't want to give anyone the wrong misunderstanding of when someone says to you, you Turkish? Yeah, I'm Turkish, but I'm Turkish Cypriot. Okay, so whereabouts are you from in Turkey? They're going to go, I'm not from Turkey, I'm from Cyprus.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
So it just cuts off all that questions, like...
You cuts it all off. So, and the reason why we say Turkish Cypriot was because if you guys actually watch, I think it was the 3rd episode of the 3rd series when we was in Northern Cyprus and I was with my uncle, he was very adamant where he turned around and said, I am Turkish Cypriot.
Yeah.
And the reason why he says that is because if I turned around and I said, I'm Cypriot, the first thing everyone would say is, you're Greek.
Yeah.
And it's like anyone, if someone says, are you Irish? To some people, I say to some, like, where you from, mate? I'm from Ireland. Okay. And then you'll ask another guy and he's very adamant. He will say, I'm from Northern Ireland.
Yeah. They specify.
It's very important. You cannot... people today do not want to be challenged, or they don't want to be questioned, and they don't... From the moment you ask them the question, where you're from or what is your ethnicity or your culture, they want to set the story straight. Okay. And that is why they don't want no questions. And what the thing is when you say Greek, Turkish Cypriot, people actually go, they're shocked there's a Turkish Cypriot.
Yeah, because some people
they don't really have a clue. No, and this is why, you know, Turkish Cypriots, they say it with pride because they want to get heard, and that's the reality of it.
Would you say the Turkish Cypriot community is a minority community?
What do you mean by minority?
Well, you've got majority and minority. So would you say that...
we had this conversation in Cyprus. So more or less?
So minority is less. So do you think that the Turkish
in Cyprus?
Cypriot... No, I'd say in London. Do you think it's a small community?
I don't know about London, but I know in Cyprus, Turkish Cypriots are a considerably smaller population. Yeah. Quite a lot. And if you actually look at it, I mean, you'll be kind of blown away. But nevertheless, we can't forget, even if it's a smaller population, Turkish Cypriots still exist, and they live in Cyprus. And look, I'm not going to get into any politics. Okay, I don't want to. It's not, I have Greek friends, and and I know how it is out there. And me myself, I don't have any animosity against anyone, and I never will. I never want to bring you up like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Yeah, the difference is that we come from a little island underneath of Turkey, and that's why I say I'm Turkish Cypriot.
Yeah.
All right, there is a difference. The language is slightly different.
Small differences.
Okay. But a lot of similarities.
Okay. Would you say you're proud of your culture?
I am extremely proud of my culture. I'm extremely proud of your mum's culture. I'm extremely proud of everyone's culture. I find it extraordinary that I can actually look into my culture and it's different from other people. It makes me, the food, the whole. I think food is one of the best parts about exploring different cultures. That there's so many different spices and herbs, and each place has got their own speciality dishes. And if you like food, I'm sure 100%.
you like
I mean, it was a bit like when I went round your mum's, and for not the first time, but we went round your mum's, and your nan would have cooked the Spanish dish, and I can't remember if it was roto or cosao. There was one. What's the one with
the other day? And do you remember when you pronounced that dish?
What one?
Raku. What did you say? We were at my nan's, right? And my granddad must have cooked a dish. I can't even remember what it was specifically. But Dad went to say it, and he's got this habit of, when he's saying a specific word that's in another language, he'll put on an accent. So this accent that he put on, he pronounced the dish way off. It was way off.
I think his old age kicking in.
But he was with so much
emphasis, so much flavour.
Cool. I'm like, what
the
hell is
potatoes were melting in my mouth as I bit into it. But as getting back to that story, I can remember when I first ate it, and I was tasting it, and I was like, God, this is like a Turkish dish. Was it a bit of you
though? Because I'm sure it was was it quite a tomatoey dish?
Right, myself, I've always struggled with other people cooking my food.
Yeah.
I don't eat eggs.
No.
Yeah. The only person I eat eggs from is your mum.
Okay.
All right. I am very, very particular. If someone touches their mouth, then touches something,
but ain't that just
I shiver. If I go into a shop and I see someone, look, your mum will tell you. We went into Burger King last week, and we ordered 2 Whoppers. I was shocked by the price of it. But then on top of it, the bloke rubbed his nose, and I wanted to run out of that shop. And your mum,
is mad observant of things
and your mum felt sorry for the man who rubbed his nose. And I'm saying to myself, I'm eating that burger, babe. And she was like, leave it. The poor man, he needs to get paid. And I was like, I need to eat my... And I was starving.
I'm a bit like that.
I was starving. And when I eat that burger, I'm eating that burger, and I lock off from all senses, thoughts and imaginations, and what it does, I can't taste the burger.
And you're just imagining that.
But your mum, she felt so sorry for this man, and I was like, I ain't having none of it. And I wanted to call the manager. She grabs me, she goes, no,
did you
no.
Eat it?
Yeah, she made me eat it. Come to 40-odd quid for bloody burger.
Was it nice?
No, not at all. No, not at all. But yeah, it was getting back to the food thing, cultural eating of food. It made me realise that how similar certain foods are. Yeah. Obviously, when don't get me wrong, every time your nan cooked the kasau or this dish, it tasted different every single time.
Yeah. They'd experiment.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved it all. It
was a nightmare for me as a child.
But your mum didn't have great experimentations as a youngster.
No,
going to different restaurants. All she knew was fish and chips,
corned beef hash,
and what was the other one? What did she? Corned beef hash, fish and chips, and a chicken chow mein from the Chinese.
Aww.
Yeah, do you know? So when she met me, she felt some true culture kicked in, I must admit. Come on, let's go down to Lebanese. What's Lebanese, ma'am? I'll show you.
Okay, so has there ever been a time you've been embarrassed by your culture? Getting back to your feelings on culture.
So my culture, if we go back, my culture is through my surroundings, okay? So my surroundings, I had two surroundings, okay? So one of my surroundings were from my home life, how I was brought up with my mum and dad with a Turkish Cypriot.
All right, so let's start with that one then. Have you ever felt embarrassed as a child?
Oh my God. You're having a laugh. I was always embarrassed. Okay. I tried to keep two sides separate. Because you got to remember, as well as, we was in an era where, my neighbours, the majority of them were, English. Friends were English. I had quite a few Jamaican friends, a few Turkish friends. So, when I had my friends, they would come round. I was always a little bit
on edge.
What are they
going to
fit in? What are they going to look at? What are they going to say? When I get back to school, they're going to go, you ain't been to Mem's house, it's a shithole. You know what I mean? But this is where I was a little bit like, I didn't know what was going to be said.
Yeah.
So I can remember there was a scenario in you got to remember, our house was different. You go to my mate's house, he had lovely COVID, his mum and dad had gone to B&Q, painted it all up, 3 people. Look, I'll tell you the honest truth. This is how it was. My mum and dad had carpets on the wall. Of Mecca.
Was it actually carpet?
It was like a rug carpet. It was just like, I couldn't explain it. It felt beautiful when you felt it. So yeah, I remember the carpet on the wall. And I remember my friend walking in and he saw it. And I was like, oh, what is he looking at now? But the funny thing was our house was all mix and match. We had in our front room a settee.
Yeah.
And your mum will remember, because I think when she first walked in, she saw it and she thought, oh, that's cute. And we had have you ever been into a cafe or a wimpy bar where you've got like a metal frame that holds the 4 chairs and the table? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
We had one in our front room. We had a wimpy table in our front room.
Wow.
Yeah. So you can imagine people walking into our house and just going, what is going on here?
Was that a thing, or was that just a thing for your
family?
No,
it was just how my family rolled.
Right.
You know what I mean?
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Mate, they wouldn't throw nothing. My mum was a hauler and my dad just went with it, He was just like, it'll do. It ain't worth the headache.
Okay.
But I'll tell you one more before we go. So I can remember I had my friend and he was like, I was like, yeah, come in. And there's me going, I've got to invite him in. And I can remember I saw my dad's car outside. I would never forget this. And I opened the front door. And as soon as I opened the front door, the smell was atrocious. I thought to myself, what is this smell? But I'd smelt it before in the house, all right? But as I've opened the door and I've gone in, and the smell's hit me, my mate was a little bit taller than me. I was short. I was only short.
Yeah.
And he'd come in, he followed me in, and I turned around and I looked at him, and I can tell the smell hit him because I see his nostrils sort of rise, like, and his eyes sort of watered a little bit, and he was a bit like, "What's going on, bro? What's going on?" And what actually happened was as I walked in, I looked into the kitchen because you could look straight through into the kitchen, and I could see my dad, and he had his head down, and I was like, What's he eating? But my mate was taller than me.
So he could see.
And he could see. So as I looked, I could see my dad's head was down. And he's biting into this thing. And I looked at it and I thought, oh no. He's biting into a lamb's head. A boiled lamb's head. But my mate's seen it. And as he's seen it, he's gone, your dad's eating a dog. And I was like, he ain't a dog. It's an Alsatian. It looks like my dog. And I swear to you now, right?
Do you think you'll remember that forever?
Shit himself. And I could see the teeth of the lamb, and I could see it, and I was like, it looks like a dog as well. And I was always thinking to myself, he must have been traumatized when he saw it. And my dad, at that time, he pulled the tongue out of the lamb's head and he started chewing on it and looking at him like... And my mate was like, "Is that your dad?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"That's my dad. That's my dad." And he was like, "I'll see you later."
That's right.
But yeah, so this was the cultural differences, you know what I mean? And I was petrified he was going to go back, you know, to school and tell people that we eat dogs in our house, you know. But the reality of it is no, it was a cultural dish, and people in our culture used to love it.
Did you never ask them, like, what are you doing? Why are you boiling?
I would never. We couldn't even look at me, my brother, my sister. No, my mum and dad were on it. It was like zombies. Like, and I was like, "Mum, it's all right, Mum." And I used to think of the poor lamb, like, and this lamb, this whole tongue thicking out, and I was like, "Oh," but yeah, that's how. They're our dishes. You know what I mean? This is what it's about.
Well, there is a questionable delicacies in every cuisine, isn't there? So I guess a lamb's head is not the worst I've ever heard.
No. They do them in Morocco a lot, and all these like Saudi countries. So yeah. So was I embarrassed? There was a bit of embarrassment. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But older, you've grown up, and you don't care.
I do not give a shit. I want to show it. I want to walk around with a lamb's head on top of my head.
I hear that.
You know, but yeah, right now, no, I don't feel at all like out of place. And the reason why I don't feel that is because of London we live in. You know, London itself is very liberated. It's very cultural. You know what I mean? It's very... what's the word where you know, I think at the moment it's the best time for us to be. I don't think it could be a better time to be gay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a better time to be you know what I mean, multicultural. Everyone is accepted. Everyone is, you know what I mean, we treat everyone evenly, you know.
100%, I agree with you.
Is that okay? Did that sound like I answered your question?
Yeah, you have indeed. So overall, your culture is important to you, yes?
100%. I mean, I think everyone should embrace their culture, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
There's richness, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you feel about your culture? I mean, at the end of the day, as much as I've told you about myself and stuff like that, I mean, I can look at you and say, well, you are half Turkish Cypriot and half, I would say, Gibraltarian with Spanish roots, yeah? Your mum is, I think, is she Orthodox Catholic? Roman Catholic?
No,
is it Roman Catholic?
I'm not sure, but I don't think she's I just know it as Catholic.
Catholic. So Catholic.
To be honest.
I mean, yeah, and getting back to that table, the wimpy table with the mosque on with the carpet, I wanted to say it. My dad would be drinking whiskey at the bottom.
Oh, how charming.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a totally Islamic background at all. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, so how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm aware that, well, if you asked me what culture am I'd definitely say I'm a mixed culture. Having a mum that, like you've already stated, Spanish, Catholic, and then a dad who
is mad.
Is mad, but also
not well.
Turkish Cypriot and a Muslim in somewhat way. So yeah, I have a mixed culture. However, how I perceive my culture today is different to how I perceived my culture as a youngster. So I've always been, growing up, I'd say I was a bit more inclined to relate to the Spanish culture more than the Turkish culture. Mainly because I was around mum's side of the family quite a lot. So, not that there's Spanish tradition, but the food, which I hated, oh my God. Growing up, there was nothing worse than a dish cooked by my granddad. Seriously. Like, as I've gotten older, I can tolerate them.
I can remember in the morning on a Sunday, his beans were cold.
Oh, but beside that,
I couldn't do it.
I mean, like, for me, my worst nightmare, is like big chunks of uncooked onion. I'll say a dish of tuna salad. If you know what I mean by tuna salad, I mean hard-boiled eggs, boiled potatoes, tins of tuna, olives and mayonnaise. Now that might sound lovely to some people, but to me, that sounds like a bellyache and a hard time.
It sounds like you're going to get the shits.
It just doesn't, it wasn't a bit of me.
I can't do it.
And so often as a child, it would be like, eat all your dinner. And I couldn't eat all my dinner. I could just about flipping swallow a mouthful of it. And it was awful, Dad. Like, do you remember?
Yeah, I can't take the smell.
Yeah,
I don't like the smell of eggs. I don't like the smell of tuna.
It was just as
bad. I don't like salad cream.
Yeah, it was just as bad for me if I thought about Turkish food, though.
Really?
Like, yes. Like,
don't say that.
Yeah, like, do you think I'd ever put a dolma in my mouth?
Oh, you can't say that. Stuffed olive
Do you
leaves.
think I'd eat, like, what is it, fasulia? No,
are
you mad?
God.
What else is there? The only thing I liked was shish.
Well, kebab shop food.
Yeah, that's the only thing I liked. But as I've gotten older, I have learnt to embrace... Well, I naturally like it, to be honest with you.
Was you ever ashamed of being what background you was? So we're doing a podcast here, yeah? So I've got to be totally honest with you, yeah?
Yeah.
I remember Mum telling me that you didn't want to say you was Turkish Cypriot.
Yeah, that's true.
Why?
I think
bad.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Why?
I think when
Look,
you're
we're
a
doing
child,
a podcast, yeah?
every time I talk, you keep cutting me off,
but
man.
I'm going to tell you straight, yeah?
Yeah.
All right? That we have to be honest with each other, and I'm not going to cut nothing off, so I'm going to be straight.
No.
So when Mum told me,
yeah,
I felt really let down by you.
Aww.
No, but seriously, I felt really let down.
Yeah, no, it's not my proudest moment, I won't lie, but it's something that I understand why. And I think it was just a matter of... So, to be honest with you, what it was is, growing up, my name, Ria Garcia, yeah? So, everyone, whether I wanted it to or not, automatically assumed I was Spanish. And for a very long period of time, I did just allow people to kind of like run with the idea, if that makes sense. If I didn't really know you that closely, I didn't really bother going into detail with it. And then I think... I'd hear little throwaway comments people would make about Turkish people.
Okay.
And I think it almost made me think, oh, is that how people would perceive me?
Give me an example.
Oh, I can't exactly remember what it was I heard, but I can remember in school, there wasn't many Turkish people in my school, or in my year specifically. But the ones that there were did get made fun of. Mm. And I think for me, it was just wanting to feel accepted. Wanting to not be... What's the word?
Outcast?
Yeah, it was. But it was... Purely because it was purely because I cared way too much about what people's opinions were. Do you get what I mean? Instead of me just being like, I am who I am, and people, like, I know now if I was like, I am who I am, I'm half Spanish, half Turkish Cypriot, people would have had no choice but to accept it. And I don't think it would have been as bad as I made it out to be in my head. Do you get what I mean?
So would you have seen that as like an element of, I don't like to say this word, but racism?
Against myself?
Well, one against the actual culture itself. You know, going on in your school. Yeah. And you not wanting to be part of it.
Yeah.
So there was part of you that you didn't want to be part of the... how can I say it?
Growing up, I didn't want any conflict. I just wanted to blend in. Do you get what I mean? That was something I noticed about how...
That was easy.
It was easy. It was no questions, no like, you know, whatever. And as I've grown up, I've kind of become the opposite.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of ways that I had as a teenager that I do look back and I go, why on earth was I like that? Sometimes I don't know the answer to it. Maybe I'd find out like as the years go on. But for me, I just think it was a matter of like
fitting in with the
call. And at that time, for whatever reason, I didn't perceive, other people didn't perceive being Turkish was cool. Do you get what I mean? And I don't know why it was like that for me. It was
so
like
there must be a lot of cultures out there that go through a similar thing. So I'll give you an example. As much as we say Turkish, there must be Iraqis, Kurdis, so from Kurdistan, Iraqistan, Afghanistan, Iranian. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So as much as I'm talking about Muslim countries, that's how I seem to see how it goes. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. However, I do believe, me being half Spanish, half Turkish Cypriot, for a great portion of my life, I did feel more Spanish than Turkish. I don't know what the reason for that was, whether it was just not being so involved in the Turkish culture.
A part of that is my fault.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I just felt like
you got to remember you was brought up by your nan and your granddad.
Yeah.
Who was Spanish.
Yeah.
Really and truly. So where we lived right next to your nan.
Yeah.
So we was always round there all the time.
Yeah.
Your nan would be playing Spanish music. No, it'd be like Spanish music. Your dad would be talking Spanish to your nan.
We'd go on holiday to Spain.
Yeah, your nan would be speaking to your granddad in a Cockney Spanish accent. So it would be, you would be round that, so you would have inherited that.
Yeah.
You know, so I do understand that. How do you feel today?
Oh, completely different.
What, just totally Turkish now?
I feel like I'm more Turkish than Spanish. No, I feel I am completely...
If mum's going to go mental.
I think I'm completely 50-50.
I don't think you are.
What do you think?
I think you are Turkish, Cypriot, 60-50.
No, I am out and out 50-50.
Yeah. I don't want you to be anything else anyway.
I have learnt to embrace both cultures that I have, both sides of it. I'm extremely proud of my parents, individually, as a team, as parents, as their own human being. So how can I not be proud of my culture if I'm so proud of my parents?
Is there some such thing as someone not having that culture? And how would that be?
Having a culture in general, you mean?
No. We're not talking about you. We're talking about an individual that is out there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is maybe watching this and thinking to themselves, do I have a culture? Yeah. How would you respond to that person? Not having the surroundings, because culture is like our surroundings. Is that right?
I believe we all create our own culture, whether that's something that we've taken from our parents, like you have yours. You've come together with my mum, who has taken culture from her parents, and you've got now your own. So whether you're close to your parents or not close to your parents, or close to your family, not close to your family, the way in which you live, the morals in which you have, the values that you hold, contribute to your culture. Do you get what I mean by that? So whether that's like, I don't know, you may not come from a religious background, but you may pray before you go to bed. You may not be a Muslim, but you might not eat pork and certain things. Do you get what I mean? You may go to bed really early. You may eat your dinner at 4 o'clock. You may do you get what I mean? There's certain things like... Rituals, you know, you might put your Christmas tree up on the 1st of December every single year. Yeah, so we all have our way. Sometimes I guess it can be mixed match, and that's your own little culture in itself. Like, there is no...
Will you carry your culture on, and will you teach your children the cultures that you've inherited from your mum's culture and your father's culture, and you having a partner yourself?
Yeah.
Will you encourage your partner, if he's cultural, to teach your children that culture?
Yeah, so I will definitely push towards the combination of cultures. So, like, my boyfriend is very similar to me in terms of, well, we have differences, of course, everybody does, but our morals are very much so the same. So I believe we will have, how can I word it? I will definitely take my culture, and I will take his culture, and we will create our own little culture. Bit like what you and Mum have done.
Okay.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Does that answer the
But
question?
your mum can cook some good Turkish food.
And I can cook some good Jamaican food.
And I can cook some good Spanish food.
Can you? What have you ever cooked that's Spanish?
I tried to. I've tried. I like cooking. I've tried cooking Spanish.
No, you can cook. Do you know what food you cook that's good?
Tell me.
Indian food.
Yeah?
Oh, I'll tell you a little insight to me and Dad.
Go on then.
So, we got really into cooking at one point, me and Dad, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we thought, oh, we'll film it. Let's see how it goes. Maybe we can upload it onto TikTok or something, you know? And we proper went the distance with this, didn't we? What did we cook? Do you remember?
We've done fish and chips.
We done fish and chips. Now, this fish
The
and
house
chips... Hold on.
stunk.
The fish and chips.
The grease. Sorry,
It didn't come out how we wanted it to, right? By the time we
My head had grease on
we
it.
effed around with it, yeah. Tried to make it look good with the shot of the camera, like, I don't know, with the chips falling onto the salt, like Salt Bay. The food was freezing by the time we ate it. We all sat down with a little bit of like an anticlimax, like, you know, was this really all worth it?
It must.
But-
It was hard work.
Yeah, but it was
hard work.
enjoyable. We did enjoy it, didn't we?
Yeah, we go through crazy stages.
We're a bit of an all or nothing kind of family.
But it was good. Yeah, culture. Enjoyed it. I've enjoyed talking about my culture. You know, I've tried. Look, you know what I'm like. I get wrapped up in my words and I go deep in my mind. So I sit here and my sister's been very cultural all her life.
She has,
She's
hasn't
been,
she?
Her
Yeah.
ethnicity has meant everything to her.
It does to some people.
And, you know, she's had like the eye, and Turkish is phenomenal. You know, my Turkish is not good at all. I can't talk great Turkish. I can understand every single word. The only person I can talk Turkish to is my mum. No one else, all right? I mean, it's that bad. I can remember we was in Turkey, and do you remember we went into the shop and I started talking to him in Turkish, and he looked at me and he went, yeah, stop that. Talk English, will ya? And he was Turkish.
Is that what he said to you?
Yeah. He said, yeah, just don't worry about it. You talk English to me, it's better. And he made me realise that my Turkish is not that great at all. I was thinking about my brother as well. So my brother...
It's even worse.
No. I mean, I don't know what language that man talks.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I can't actually imagine him talking Turkish.
I can't imagine me and my brother talking Turkish.
Do you talk Turkish to each other?
No. He tries to talk to me sometimes in Turkish, and he makes me laugh. But what I was trying to get to, like, my sister was totally cultural. Being Turkish, she was proud of it. You got to remember, she went to Cyprus and she went to school in Cyprus.
Yeah.
But my brother was completely the opposite. I mean, he was totally English, British. It's only until he's got older now I can really see in him. He's actually proud of his ethnicity as well. That makes me really happy for him.
Yeah.
Because I think having your culture and your ethnicity, it gives you colour. It gives you warmth. It gives you a family. You know, you create a strength and how can I say, a bond in your family where you all have your positions and you respect it and you understand it, and you culture as well gives you family. What's the thing? Family values. That's the word. Family values, where you look at your elders in respect, and you know, the Turkish language itself. When you actually speak it and you speak to your elders, you speak one way, and then when you speak to your youngers, you speak another way, and you learn and you respect your elders, and then when you look to your young'uns. Yeah, the youngsters. And this is one thing I get a little bit upset about this country, a little bit like the youngsters of today growing up. What I get upset about is that when you brought up in that thing where you teach your young'uns and your young'uns look up at you, and then you go, you know, you see the youngsters today and it frightens you how they've become.
Yeah.
You know, they look at everyone as they're the same. Old people, they really don't care.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, I'm proud of my culture. You know, we do show respect, especially the family is important, you know. But yeah, I thought I had to get that through to you, you know, because we are in the UK, you know, so we have British ways about us. You know, I think, talk English.
Last question I've got for you on this little subject here. So speaking about like respect and older generations, younger generations, do you feel like the older generation value culture more than the younger generations? Do you feel like as the timeline is continuing, the younger generations are carrying on that culture? Do you feel like they're losing it a bit more?
I feel that, you know, there's a limit. All right. So we will do a podcast on families. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think there's a level of in a household, you know, the environment in a house where you can be too strict, and the element of respect and positioning goes well out the window, and the whole household is just gloomed with fear. You understand what I mean by that? He's going to shout, he's going to scream, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. I don't want to upset him, he's going to do it. So when the household is full of fear, the whole understanding of positioning goes.
Yeah.
The reason why you need positioning, because that puts you into, you know, when you move up a level, you've gone from a kid to a teenager, there's new ones coming in, you teach them, and there's a level, and the morals and the family thing grows on, and you understand what I mean? You're teaching the youngsters more. But when there's fear, and that level of understanding has gone out, that youngster starts to teach fear to others, because he doesn't know no other way.
Of course.
All right, so he will start to lose his family values. It doesn't happen in all families, but what I do notice, what I can see, is more than likely happening more now than ever.
Yeah.
Because before, the families needed each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about me and my siblings and my mum and my late dad. It's about my family as a whole, as a unit.
Yeah.
You know, when my dad got ill, all my uncles run around. Everyone run around. No one just stood back. No one was holding anyone back.
Yeah.
You know, and as a family, it made me feel safe.
It was a family effort.
It made me feel like we're not alone, and you was like an army, and you can fight these things, and it ain't about just someone getting ill. If someone's got financial problems, if someone's got relationship problems, even like me mum and dad back in the day when they had relationship problems, me uncles would come and sit down.
Yeah.
You know, and I think to myself, now people don't do that no more. They just let people split up. You know, if people are going down with financial, just let them lose it. Let them learn. There must be something wrong with them, not realising they could have had a stroke of bad luck. And that's where I feel like family. We'll talk about family.
I was going to say, so
right?
It's quite an in-depth
Yeah,
subject
so
in
me,
itself.
myself, I can go so deep into it, all right? But, yeah, are the youngsters any different to... Are they going to be any different to our generation that was years ago, yeah? Yeah, 100%. And we have to make sure ourselves, you know... We realise this, especially parents, you know. These people are the ones that are going to run the country in the future and are going to be looking after us when we're in the nursing homes. Yeah. You know, they're the ones that are going to be looking after you. So, yeah.
Right, Dad. We've approached the point in the podcast where I basically bombard you, or not bombard you, but present to you the secret that I have been keeping from you.
Okay.
You ready for what I've got in store?
Okay. No, but go on.
Okay, so do you remember this?
Oh no!
I'll just show you guys so you can see.
Oh no!
So
I totally forgot about it.
did you?
Damn! I thought Mum looked at me a bit differently today.
Well, back in December, around Christmas time, my mum bought my dad a DNA test. The reason that she bought it for my dad was mainly because one of his cousins had done one. He basically let Dad know the results, his thoughts, feelings on his results, basically. And it inspired us to... Well, I think it inspired us more than it inspired Dad to want to do a DNA test. So she got him one for Christmas. He done the test, we sent it off, and we did wait a little while for the results, not going to lie. They've come back today. Just to let you know, I do know them already.
Really?
I do indeed. Hence why I thought culture would be a really good subject to talk about today, because we're going to find out what your DNA entails.
Okay.
Excited? Because I'm excited to see your reaction to these details.
So, like, I didn't know this at all. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what I need to be thinking right now. I mean, at the end of the day.
Don't think, just feel. How about that one?
Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's exciting. I see it as exciting, you know? Like layers. Like
I feel a little bit like you've trapped me. You've deceived me a little bit.
Oh, Dad. Get over it, mate. So, are you ready?
I am ready.
Well, whether you're ready or you're not ready, get ready.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So, I'm going to go through them. There's percentages, so I'm going to read you the percentage and then tell you what the ethnicity is, okay?
Okay.
So, the highest percentage is the one I'm going to read you now. And it's 32.9%. Dun, dun, dun. Italian.
No way.
Italian, yep. 32.9% Italian.
Wow.
How does that make you feel?
I don't know.
What to say.
I don't know.
It's funny as well because my mum has done one too. She did one a few years ago. And as you've gathered from this podcast, Mum is of Spanish heritage. Well, when she did hers, it came back with 4 different ethnicities. The highest percentage was, in fact, Italian too. The second one was Spanish, third was Jewish, and then the fourth was a bit of Scandinavian. But she was, in fact, more Italian than she was Spanish.
Scandinavian?
Yeah, Scandinavian.
Ain't Scandinavians like tall, green eyes, blonde hair?
Well...
Mum's short, dark hair, and dark eyes.
She hasn't got dark eyes.
Hasn't she?
No, she's got hazel eyes.
They're dark to me.
They're a bit green in the sun.
Smoky.
They're smoky.
But I can't get over. I'm
32.9%
Italian.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You're saying that, and I'm thinking about what Dede said. Your granddad, my dad. And he always said about Italians, we've got Italian in our blood. And I thought, yeah, all right, Dad, we've got Italian in our blood. But that's quite a lot.
It's quite a lot, yeah, if you think. So all these percentages, obviously, it's out of 100%, yeah? So 32.9% of your 100%.
That's over a quarter.
Yeah.
Wow.
So over a quarter Italian. We'll go into the specifics later on.
Italiano. I'm like an Italiano. Huh?
Oh, here we go.
Italiano il ristorante.
Okay, so you ready for the next one?
Hit me.
I know as I go through these, you're not going to take it in properly until maybe later on, maybe when you're in the bath. And
No, I'll be honest with you, I'm a bit shocked you pulled this out now.
That's what I mean. It's hard to take in, right?
Yeah.
Well, next one. You are 13.7% Greek and South Italian.
Shut up!
Yeah.
I'm 13.7%
Greek and South Italian. I'm going to put screenshots up on the screen so you guys can see in detail what each one says. And on the app as well, when you have a little look later, because I'll show you, it's got information about the ethnicity, so you can read maybe about why.
I always said to myself, I mean, like you've said that.
Yeah.
And I've always said to myself, like I always said this, and you know what, I spoke about this the other day to my mum. And I said to my mum, before the separation in 1974 in Cyprus, there must have been some Turkish-Greek relationships going on. There must have been there must have been like a really good-looking Turkish woman that, you know, fell in love with like a really handsome Greek guy.
Of course.
You know, there must have been like, I mean, it must have. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
And my mum went, she made me laugh. She went, yeah, but they went off to the mountains together.
Fair enough.
But I can't believe it.
Yeah, Dad. So
I'm Greek. To all my Greek friends out there, Bosta Baisin Daxis Garimeras.
Is that Greek?
Yeah.
Oh, so Greek.
Yeah.
Oh, is your Greek better than your Turkish then?
No. But wow, I can't get over it. 13%.
13.7%.
How many differences am I? How many How many different How screwed up am I?
I don't know. Well, I do know, but I'll just keep going. All right. So the third one. So this one is more than the Greek and South Italian. Okay. So this is 17%.
Oh, this has got to be Turkish.
You're Mizrahi Jewish.
Oh, what the you talking about now?
I see how you held that back.
Where are you going with all this now?
It's got Mizrahi Jewish.
This can't be real, this stuff, Ree.
Dad, it's got Mizrahi Jewish, Iranian/Iraqi.
Nah, this can't be real. How have you looked to see how
I have accurate.
Is this accurate?
It's very
how
accurate? Extremely accurate.
Like what?
Like extremely accurate.
So I'm 17% Mizrahi
Jewish.
Mizrahi Jewish.
Yeah.
So I'm 32% Italian.
Yeah.
I'm 13% Greek Southern Italian.
Yeah.
I'm 17% Mizrahi Jewish, Iranian, Iraqi.
Yeah.
Babe, where's this Turkish in this now?
I don't know.
I mean, not being funny. I mean, this isn't funny anymore. I mean...
don't know what to tell you, mate. Alright, next one. You're 16.1%.
16.1%.
16.1% Middle Eastern.
What the hell is Middle Eastern, Ria?
So, Middle Eastern...
Have you making this up?
No, I'm not making this up. Like I said to you, when we go inside, I will show you all the details and you can have a little look yourself. I won't go too deep into what it says about this ethnicity. But obviously, you know what Middle Eastern is. Like, you know, Saudi Arabia, that region of the world.
And that was what percentage?
16.1.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been lied to in my life.
Do you?
Well, a little bit. I've just stood here half an hour talking to you about ethnicity and culture, about how we got Turkish food. My old man tucking into a lamb's head. Well, it makes a bit of sense now you said Middle Eastern.
Well,
carpets on the wall of Mecca. It's making sense.
Indeed. All right, so next one. So that would be 5 altogether, including this one. So you are 12.9% West Asian, which, just to clarify, is Turkish.
West Asian.
West Asian is what they consider
That's
Turkish.
the first time I've even heard that Turkey is West Asian.
Okay.
And you said Turkey. You never even said Cyprus.
Nope. Turkey.
Yeah. And you said 12%.
Yes.
Ria, that's like my arm. That's like my hand and my arm.
Yeah, it's not much, is it? It's not much in comparison to the Italian and the...
No.
You know, all the rest. Okay, so we've got 2 left. So in total, you've got 7 different parts of the world that you're linked to. Okay? This one is 6.5%. So we're on the smaller percentages now. 6.5% North African.
What the hell is North African, Ria?
So it could
I can tell you what North London is, but what is North African?
You know what North African is. Come on. It's like Tunisian, Morocco, Algeria. All that kind of places.
Well, I look like Morocco.
All of these places you look like you could be from. So I don't know why you seem so shocked.
I'm shocked because I'm shocked because I never knew there was going to be so many different types of... I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I thought you was going to... After listening to my cousin saying he was majority Cypriot, and I thought, he'd probably go a bit Greek and a bit Turkish in there, a bit mixed up.
Yeah.
But I never heard any of these that he said, and he's my first cousin. And you to turn around and say I'm only 12%. I'm more Italian. I'm more Jewish.
Yeah.
I'm more Iranian or Iraqi than I am in the culture that I've been brought up in as a child.
Isn't that insane? Damn, as you like to say. All right, you ready for the last one?
Was there one more?
There's one more and that's it. Now, out of them all, like I just said to you, if you told me you came from any of those places and I didn't know you, I would believe you. However, this one, it's a very small percentage. And I know that there's probably loads of people that this particular place is linked to also, besides yourself. But I would never have said that this was part of your ethnicity. And it wasn't in Mum's either. You're 0.9% Nigerian.
Shit. Damn.
Yeah, boy.
To all my African brothers out there, we're brothers.
We're brothers.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm 0.9% Nigerian.
Yeah. Now that, if you asked me to guess, I would never have guessed that.
Damn.
It's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Mate, I'm not going to lie to you. I did not expect you to bring that out in me today, that heritage DNA. Do you want the honest truth? I totally forgot about the whole thing.
I think that's what the good thing about doing these tests are. It's enough time for you to forget about it. So that when it appears, you're like, oh my God.
Oh no, I can't believe it. What am I going to tell my mum?
I think it would be good for her to do one so you can figure out which side of the family.
I'm not going to tell my mum. What I'm going to do is make her watch this podcast.
There you go.
So, Mum, your family's been playing around a lot. Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. Something's gone on.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel... Do you know what? I'm actually thinking about it now. And I feel a little bit sorry for... I'm thinking, like, you've told me, yeah?
Yeah.
So I am... This is really crazy that you're saying this to me. Because only, like, you know, I think deep, yeah?
Yeah.
I am the first person to bring out to the surface that in my family that is today, my siblings and my mum and my dad, that we have this heritage that goes back.
Yeah. So if you didn't do one, your siblings never did one, or your mother, you would never know
No,
this.
I would have never known it.
No, and you would never have guessed this either.
I would have never known it.
No.
And I feel a little bit sorry for like my grandparents that didn't. I feel sorry for my poor dad that passed away, that he never knew none of this.
No.
And he would have gone, I told you so, Mems, you
He
see?
would have been like, oh my
Italiano, huh? My name is Roberto. I got a bit. I feel like I want to become Italian.
Well, you don't have to wanna. You are.
Oh my God, I can't believe it, Ree.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
I feel like
Reborn.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know.
It's okay. I knew that it would be a lot to take in, but I thought it would be good to catch your reaction on the camera, and obviously with all you guys.
It's beautiful.
I think it's amazing.
I think it's beautiful. I mean, like, considering what we've just spoke about, and then you come out and you've said that there's part of me that wants to find out what part of Italy.
Yeah.
There's part of me that wants to find out, even though I went, Iran. I want to find out about it. I want to find out what grandparents, where did it mix? Who was it?
Yeah.
Like deep down, like I'm sitting here right now, my brain's doing like 100 miles an hour. And I've got a rough idea of the global map. And I can see where there's like a road. There's a road that goes from like Nigeria to North Africa, Egypt, Syria. You know what I mean? Not Syria. Palestine, New Israel or Israel. And it comes all the way round to Turkey, to the islands, South Italy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then, maybe the Greek islands and back to Cyprus. And the crazy thing is, look, you actually think about it, yeah? Where are we right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell them where we are right now.
We're in London, England.
We're in southeast London, in the back of my garden. That's where we are, in the summer house. And we've just spoke about thousands and thousands of miles that just come through in a box.
Yep.
Wow.
Crazy stuff, isn't it?
Wow.
So, knowing this now, knowing what you know now, does it change how you feel about your culture? The culture that you've been brought up to believe? Well, not believe, but...
Nah.
No.
Never.
No.
It will never change. And I never want it to change the way my parents brought me up.
Yeah. Here's another question. Do you think if you could rewind time, these DNA tests were around when you were a child, and either your mum or your dad decided to do one, they did one, saw whatever the results were, do you think that would have changed your culture if they knew what their actual DNA entailed? Do you think that would have impacted a change in your culture to what it was?
No. And the reason why I don't think it would is because my whole entire family, me, my siblings, my cousins, my uncles, are all Turkish.
Yeah.
And if there was an uncle or a granddad that was Italian, maybe. If there was an auntie that was half Iranian, Iraqi, Jewish, a hint of Nigerian, and that bloodline had run down to me and I could see her in solid form,
I understand.
it would keep me interested. It would keep... I can ask questions and I can get answers.
Yeah, you
With
feel
that,
a part of it.
right now I'm looking at that, it's in a box.
Yeah.
It's going to stay in the box.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Well, Dad, there's nothing in the box.
No, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah,
I do.
It ain't going to go no further than that.
Okay. So, would you encourage people to do DNA tests?
Yeah, not on a podcast. I mean, yeah, like, not like... Yeah, I've loved it. I mean, me deep down, I feel like... Yeah, I think everyone's got to find out where their past is, Their past is very important.
Yeah.
It gives me a little bit more insight, into, like I said, the whole of, we're very liberated and cultural, and we'll always embrace other cultures. And the reality of it is, by you telling me what you just told me, other cultures just embraced me.
Of course.
Without me even realising. And, I've always said this, and I'll always say it, and I've written it in a book. If an old lady falls over and she's on the floor, you don't look at what colour she is, do you?
No.
You just pick her up, didn't you?
Yeah.
And if an old lady gets mugged, you help her, didn't you?
Yeah.
I can guarantee you, if that old lady falls on the floor, no matter what colour, culture, religion she is, someone is going to pick her up. Is that right?
Of course.
And it don't matter what culture, colour or religion they are, they're out to help people.
Yeah.
So I've always realised when people need people, example, when people go for operations or they get ill, when they need that help, no matter what colour they are, if that person's got that magic, they're their saviour and they're their God. Mm-hmm. And that's why being here in the UK, in a liberated, multicultural society, I think we're blessed. How do you think? Do you think the same?
I agree.
Yeah?
Wholeheartedly, yeah.
Okay.
I do. So, guys, it's been an interesting one today. It's been nice to actually discuss something with you, It's been nice to have you guys on the forefront with us. I personally enjoyed talking about this today. Did you?
Yeah, 100%. I didn't find it very confident. Was it when we're going to battle? It was just a subject that we spoke about.
Of course.
And, it was just nice to flow with it. Maybe because culturally we're connected and we won't have a battle against it. And that's the reason why, we're a team in that way.
We are a team indeed.
I'm your culture.
I'm your culture.
I created you.
I'm a result of your culture, Dad, and I'm proud now, all right?
You're a Nigerian.
I'm proud.
You're an Iranian. You're a Jewish.
So, guys, if you've enjoyed today's video, we'd just like to say thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit the like button. Share this with your friends. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, please do get subscribed. Turn your post notifications on. We will be uploading every Sunday at 5 p.m. and top quality, all right? Like we said last time, quality.
Quality. Big quality.
So, have a nice evening.
And, one more thing. Can I say just a couple of more things?
Yeah, go on.
Right, so if you guys have done a DNA test already and you were shocked to your results and you didn't realise that you was going to come back what you did, and you was obviously, like me, convinced you were 100% what you believed you was taught in your culture, please, I want to hear about it. I would love to respond to you. If you got a DNA test in any other company, I don't know what other companies are there.
Oh, there's lots of other companies that do this. You've got Ancestry. This one is My Heritage, and I know that there's a few others.
There's 23 something. I saw one 23 or something.
Yeah, there's a few others.
So if you used all these, used any of them, I would love to hear your feedback. If there's any Turkish Cypriots out there that have done their DNA and they've done it and it's come back similar to mine or really off key, I want to hear about it. All right?
We want to hear about it. We like to hear feedback.
DNA.
Culture.
Lamb's head.
Rugs on the wall.
Dogs. Woof. As my mate said, I'm out of here, mate. It stinks.